Most people using NotebookLM right now are leaving about 90% of its actual capability completely untouched. They open it, drop in a PDF, ask a question, and call that a workflow. It is not. What I'm going to show you today is a 3-level system built inside NotebookLM that turns it from a glorified search tool into a comprehensive research and production engine. And almost nobody knows all 3 levels exist together. Let me start with something that will reframe how you think about this tool entirely. NotebookLM has 3 operational layers. Layer 1 is source collection, Layer 2 is synthesis, Layer 3 is production output. The overwhelming majority of users never leave Layer 1. They collect sources, maybe ask a few questions, and stop. The people who reach Layer 3 are producing research reports, professional slide decks, custom white papers, infographics, and podcast-style audio briefs, all from a single notebook without touching a search engine once. That gap in usage is enormous, and today, we are closing it. Before you do anything else inside NotebookLM, you need to understand notebook architecture. This is the detail that immediately separates casual users from professionals. Your notebook should be narrowly scoped, not a broad topic like marketing or technology, but something specific like competitive landscape for electric vehicle software in North America or regulatory trends in European fintech 2025 and 2026. Why does this matter? Because the tool performs dramatically better when every source inside the notebook is topically coherent. Broad notebooks produce vague, generalized answers. Focused notebooks produce sharp, precise analysis. Now here is the feature that most people either do not know exists or they skip past without understanding what it actually does. It is called Deep Research, and it is available when you create a new notebook. Instead of manually hunting for sources, uploading files one by one, and hoping your search covered the ground well, you let this agent do it. And it does not run a keyword search. It analyzes the topic structure, identifies gaps in the existing research landscape, adjusts its approach mid-process, and surfaces around 50 relevant sources. Then it generates a full synthesis report from those sources and imports the most relevant ones directly into your notebook. Work that used to take a skilled researcher 3 to 5 hours now takes minutes. And critically, it often surfaces sources a human researcher would simply miss through standard search behavior. But here is where most people make their first mistake. After getting all those sources loaded, they just start asking questions with no validation of what they actually have. There's a 3-question check that takes 5 minutes and should happen before every serious research session. First question. Ask NotebookLM to generate a table mapping each source to its content type, category, output format, and whether it qualifies as a primary source, a secondary analysis, or an opinion piece. This instantly shows you the composition of your knowledge base. If you are researching a topic that moves fast and all your sources are from 3 or 4 years ago, that is a critical problem the tool will not volunteer to tell you. You have to ask. Second question, ask which sources are most frequently referenced or cited by other sources within the notebook. This identifies the foundational documents carrying the most weight versus peripheral material. Third question. Ask for a summary of the primary perspective or potential bias in your 5 most substantial sources. This tells you whether you are analyzing something from multiple angles or whether your entire source base leans in one direction without you realizing it. 3 questions, 5 minutes, a complete picture of your actual knowledge foundation. Now there is a setting almost nobody opens. In the top right corner of any notebook, there is a configuration panel. This panel controls how NotebookLM responds to every single query you run. You can assign it a conversational goal, set it to function as a specific professional role, like a competitive intelligence analyst focused on financial services, and configure response length to be detailed rather than brief. Once you set this up, every answer you receive is filtered through that role and professional context. Without configuration, you get balanced, surface-level generic responses. With it, you get targeted analysis built around your specific needs. Configure it once, and it applies to everything that follows. Source filtering is the next hidden lever. On the left side of the interface, every source has a checkbox. Almost everyone leaves everything checked all the time. When all sources are active simultaneously, the model tries to pull from every document at once. the output becomes diluted and broad because it is averaging across conflicting information from unrelated angles. The professional approach is to uncheck everything, then select only the 2 or 3 sources directly relevant to the specific question you are asking right now. The model treats everything else as non-existent. Your answers become sharper, more precise, and actually grounded in the right material. One notebook, 50 sources, but you configure it dynamically depending on what you need at any given moment. Now we get into layer 3. This is where NotebookLM stops being a research assistant and becomes a production system. The audio overview feature generates a podcast-style conversation between 2 AI hosts synthesizing your source material. The default version is serviceable. The professional version comes from using the instruction field before you generate it. You can specify format, whether you want a standard overview, a condensed brief, a critical analysis, or a debate format. The difference between default and configured is significant. Infographic generation uses Google's image model to create a fully designed visual pulling directly from your sources. You configure orientation, level of detail, and visual style in the instruction field. The output includes charts, diagrams, text hierarchies, and visual layouts at publication quality, work that previously required a designer and hours of back and forth. For slide decks, you choose between a detailed text-heavy version suitable as a standalone document or a presenter-style deck with minimal text designed for live delivery. You control the length and specify your audience and focus in the instructions. The deck is generated with professional visual hierarchy and content pulled directly from your sources. The custom report option is where serious production work happens. You define structure, format, audience, and tone explicitly. Tell it to create a technical white paper comparing 3 approaches to a topic, written for a research audience, with methodology comparisons and directions for future investigation. The model follows the structure you define and handles roughly 90% of the drafting work. There is one more capability most people never use. NotebookLM processes multiple content formats simultaneously: PDFs, YouTube videos, podcasts, blog posts, audio files. Load the same topic across 5 different formats and ask it to compare the technical framing from a research paper with the practical concerns raised in a conference recording. Doing that manually takes hours. NotebookLM synthesizes it in seconds. The difference between a basic user and a power user isn't access to better tools. You're both using the same NotebookLM. The difference is understanding how deep the tool actually goes. If you take one thing away from this video, it's this. Stop treating NotebookLM like a place to ask questions about documents. Start treating it like a system for building knowledge, generating insights, and producing finished work. And here's a challenge for you. The next time you open NotebookLM, don't upload a PDF and ask a question. Create a focused notebook. Run a deep research report. Audit your sources. Configure the notebook role. Then generate something: a podcast, a report, a slide deck, an infographic. You'll immediately see why most users are operating at layer 1 while a small group is getting exponentially more value from the same tool. Now I'm curious, what's the most interesting thing you've ever uploaded into NotebookLM? A PDF? A YouTube video? A podcast? Multiple formats combined? Drop it in the comments. If this video showed you features you didn't know existed, hit the like button. And if you're interested in practical AI workflows that save hours of work, not hype, actual workflows, subscribe. The next video on your screen will show you another AI tool that most people are massively underutilizing. I'll see you in that one.